You're the matchmaker. You want a drink?
Sure. Coke and beer.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, John.
There was a minor backlash to Materialists when it came out in the US, and it turned out to not be the crowd-pleasing rom-com it was sold as in the trailers. But you can't fault a movie for not being the movie you wanted it to be. You can only judge it by what it is, and I really liked it for what it is. Materialists isn't a straightforward rom-com, it's more like an elevated rom-com. It's written and directed by an auteur with a keen eye for cinematography and a keen ear for naturalistic dialogue, and it's as much a drama as it is a comedy. It does have plenty of laughs, but they're not broad laughs like The Proposal or Bridget Jones's Diary. They're low-key laughs drawn from sharp observations about the harsh realities of dating and relationships, like Annie Hall or When Harry Met Sally. But that's my favourite kind of rom-com, so I had a really good time with Celine Song's second feature. It's not quite as airtight or emotionally resonant as Past Lives, but it's a solid love story with great writing, great performances, and gorgeous filmmaking.
I'm turning 48 and I think I need to meet someone more grown.
I have a really beautiful client. She's 31.
I wasn't really thinking 30s.
The premise is classic rom-com. A top New York matchmaker can find true love for anyone besides herself. But as she struggles to find the perfect man for her latest client, two perfect men fall right into her lap. A charismatic millionaire and her unsuccessful but lovable ex-boyfriend. But the way Song executes it is far from classic rom-com. It is to the rom-com what Drive was to the action film, or Midsommar was to the folk horror film. It delivers the goods to an extent, but it also brings deeply human characters and a slower, more somber pace to an otherwise familiar genre formula. Past Lives is one of my favourite films of the decade so far, so I couldn't wait to see what Song would do next. Even if her second film was announced to be a 3-hour documentary about a dung beetle, I would have been first in line on the opening day to watch it. And while Materialists doesn't quite feel like Song is bearing her soul like she did in Past Lives, she does have a personal connection to the story that shines through in its authenticity and specificity. It was inspired by Song's own experiences working as a professional matchmaker in New York. It was her day job to pay the bills when she was a struggling up-and-coming playwright. Having recently gotten married at the time, she found that treating romance as a numbers game took all the magic out of it. So she created this character who's been doing it for so long that she's become completely jaded and cynical about the concept of love.
I hate to break it to you, but what people call love is just a chemical reaction that compels animals to breed. It hits hard, Morty, then it slowly fades.
Dakota Johnson has a tendency to monotonously phone it in when she doesn't really believe in the project or care how it turns out. Madam Web and the 50 Shades sequels being prime examples. But if she does believe in it and she does care, like a Bigger Splash or The Lost Daughter, then she's capable of giving a really great performance. And that's the case with Materialists. She's working with Celine Song's subtle but distinctive character development, and she's got meaty on-screen relationships with a bunch of great actors to sink her teeth into. Johnson's turn as a human Tinder algorithm might be my favourite performance of hers I've seen. She nails the dryness of the comedic deliveries when she's biting her tongue in front of shallow male clients, but she also brings plenty of depth to this character's calculated approach to romance and her deep dark pit of self-loathing. Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans are both effortlessly charming and funny as always as her two suitors, and they each share strong chemistry with Johnson in their own way.
I have an amazing guy for you.
How tall?
5'11".
Is he actually 5'11" or is he 5'9" and is lying?
What's a couple inches?
There's a sexual assault subplot that's a bit tonally jarring. It's handled really well. Zoe Winters, aka Kerry from Succession, gives a really powerful, moving performance. And Song understands the nuance and complexity and horror of these situations. And the film wouldn't be a fully realised examination of the foibles of modern dating without it. But it dampens the light-hearted romantic tone. Of course it's supposed to be jarring, because it's traumatic and real. But the film jumps right back into the comedy and the levity. And it's hard to recover the rom-com vibes after going to such a dark and painful place.
Are we soulmates?
Probably.
Materialists doesn't really know how to end. It has a focused first and second act, then the third act struggles to find its footing after Lucy has chosen which of her suitors she wants to be with. Past Lives had such a perfect ending that left you in tears and succinctly wrapped up the story, while still leaving enough ambiguity for you to keep thinking about the film long after it's over. Materialists feels like it reaches a natural stopping point about 5 times before it actually ends. The ending is a satisfying conclusion to the story, and it resolves the film's thesis on love, but that third act could have been tightened up a bit. Materialists is not the masterpiece that Past Lives was, but it's not the crushing disappointment it's been built up to be either. It's not the classical rom-com it was marketed as, but it is Celine Song's singular vision of a rom-com. And surely that's better than having another forgettable, formulaic, run-of-the-mill rom-com chucked on the pile.
You're the matchmaker. You must know a lot about love.
I know about dating.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.